Hey, welcome to Geeky Faucets. I'm Amy Dale.
And I'm Christine Lucas-Savage.
And this is episode 20, and today we're going to talk about special effects makeup.
Yeah, we were at Denver Comic-Con a couple weekends ago, and there was a lot of people who had a lot of special effects makeup, but maybe could have used a little bit of a tutorial.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because I have freakishly talented kids, and I have a 10-year-old son who does special effects makeup, who we're going to bring in a little bit later.
He's very good. I can vouch for that.
He's really, really good, and it's weird because when we were at Comic-Con, Christine's like, your son could do so much better than that. I was like, I know, it's weird to think my 10-year-old could do better than that, but he totally could.
Very good.
He's kind of amazing. It's weird.
One of the first few times I ever hung out with you, your son stuck a pencil into my hand.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was, oh my word, I just cringed thinking
so
about it. Like, he pulled it out and like it looked like the skin came up. Oh, yeah. It was gross. I'm like, that's fantastic work if you can gross me out.
He also did like one where my wrist looked like it was slit, and when you moved it, like the wound like opened and closed.
And it looked like it oozed. It was so gross.
Really gnarly. Okay, but before we get to that, there are big news these days, which is Matt Smith is leaving.
Yeah,
Doctor Who.
I have mixed feelings because Matt Smith's not my favorite Doctor, but I do really like him. And I'm always scared because I'm like, well, who's going to replace him and who's going to do better? The only person I can think of that could do better is David Tennant.
It's like he just regenerates again back into it,
which would be lovely.
Yeah.
Although I heard a rumor,
a ginger David Tennant.
I heard a rumor that Rupert Grint, John.
Oh my word, Ron Weasley.
I heard. Total rumor. It could be completely like nothing, but I'm like,
kind of an awesome
well, that
rumor.
would be interesting because he's ginger.
He is ginger, and he would be so happy to be ginger.
Right. Oh, but I would be so sad because that's like his thing. Like he doesn't. God, am I ginger? No. Oh, maybe next time.
No,
you know what I mean? But like that's his thing. I think that's funny.
But that would be awesome because he's quirky enough to pull it off. The only other person I could think of, which wasn't a really good one, it would be, is Hugh Laurie, is who I thought of.
He's too old.
Hadn't heard any. Well, I mean, there's a lot of old doctors, and I don't think he's super old. He's a very attractive man. He's a really talented musician, and he's a great comedian. I know that you think of him as House, where he's like super hardcore and scary, right? But he's a comedian, and he's funny.
Really?
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yes. So that was my other thought, but I like that one better.
I think
Ron Weasley.
I just don't know if he's too. Yes. I just don't know if he's too young or not.
I don't know.
Anyway, I heard that somewhere. Twould be very interesting. One of our Twitter followers asked the question, if Doctor Who was Americanized, who would you choose? And I'm like, they better not Americanize the Doctor.
I don't think they would ever be.
I don't think they would.
But I think as a hypothetical question, it's really interesting because my answer was very bizarre. My answer was Woody Harrelson.
He'd be like the High Doctor. You know what I mean?
So anyway, guys.
But he'd be funny. Like he's definitely.
I don't know.
He's definitely, quirky enough.
That's what I was thinking. Like he's so quirky and yeah, he's I don't know.
On that same note,
but he's not very energetic. You're right. No. He's a little.
On
more
that same
like
note, I was thinking of other Americans playing British characters. I'm like, okay. But the one that popped into my head was Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Sherlock. Mm-hmm. I think he did a fantastic job.
He did.
So if they can find like somebody like that who's American that has a wicked English accent,
they still shouldn't do it.
They still shouldn't do it. I don't think they should do it either. But I'm just saying that's the only time I could imagine like an American actually in the role.
Yeah.
But I love that it's uniquely British and
I know it's very British.
Anyway. What are your opinions? I'm curious to know what you think.
Yeah,
like, do you have any like Americans you think? I don't even.
Who are you hoping they'll pick for the next Doctor?
Yeah, because I really don't know. I've got nothing. I don't like making decisions at all. So
no, I'm just thinking. This is why this blank expression is on my face right now.
Stop thinking. We have to talk.
I was trying to think of Merlin because I love that show so much. I was like, I wonder if one of the actors in Merlin. But I think that Prince Arthur's too cute, and I think that Merlin, I don't know. He's very silly.
I don't
know. He was in an episode of Doctor Who, though. Midnight, whatever.
Oh,
the bus
yeah.
He was like the gothy teenager with like the black fingernails and all that.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Okay. Also, something big happened on Game of Thrones recently. I have no idea what it is because I'm not caught up. And it's weird. I have this really weird split personality about Game of Thrones. Because I do. It's true. I love that show so much, and I'm so addicted to it. But I hate it so much at the same time because it is so naked and it is so not appropriate. And I know, like,
explicit.
Yes,
is that the good word for? Or is there
Yes,
swear words?
and
I've never actually seen
yes.
an episode of it. I've never
yes
seen
to
it.
the swear words. Yes to the what is offensive to you. Yes, it's probably in there. And I'm just like, I'm not watching it with my kids or anything, obviously, but still, I am like offended by myself watching it. I'm just like, oh, what? No, why? Why?
Well,
do I have to
whatever
see
the
that?
spoilers was, those who have read the book were like, I don't see what the big deal is. I already knew that was happening. So
yeah,
I've
only read book one.
probably...
I read book 1 and I loved it, and I haven't had time to read book 2
because
yet,
it's this thick.
Yeah, they're really big. But I like the book. Like, it was pretty true. The first season was pretty true to the book, and it was really, really, really good. They're really well written and fun to read books. And I don't think, okay, maybe it's just me, but I don't think they're as bad as the movie. What do you call it? Yeah, the show. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I don't remember all those scenes. I feel like maybe in the show, like in the book, it would be like, yeah, this conversation took place in a brothel. But then in the movie, or in the show, it's taking place in a brothel, and you're seeing stuff happening behind the conversation that you're like, oh yeah.
That's not necessary.
So anyway, but I am like season 3. I can't watch because HBO is stingy. That's right. They're stingy with their freaking shows.
Tell us how you really feel.
I really feel like they're too stingy because I will pay for your shows. I don't want your whole channel.
Did you pay? Whoa. Did you pay for the second season, or was it already up on like Netflix or whatever, wherever you watch? I don't even know where you watch it.
I refuse to answer that question. I may or may not have found it on a pirated site, but I would be willing to pay for it. That is the point.
She wants to give you your money.
Take my money, please. Like, if they would just put it on Amazon, like an episode at a time, like, for season 3.
Done.
Please, I will give you my money, but I don't want your whole channel because honestly, no, I just don't. Okay, so that's, that. And then I had a little bit of a personal victory that I want to tell you about. Which is, I have a really good friend who's an amazing artist, and she's like an artist encourager. Like, she just encourages all these people, and her name's Christy Bovey, and she's awesome.
I love
Christine
her.
knows her too.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
Anyway, she has a really awesome sense of humor, like a little bit wicked, like mine, which I love. So she's really, really awesome, and she had, I have been trying to tell her for ages that she would love Dr. Horrible. Like,
did she watch it?
A long time. And so last night she was at my house, and as she left, I was like, Christy Bovey, you better watch Dr. Horrible. And she was like, okay. And I think I just did that thing where you just harass someone so much that they're just like,
fine.
I don't even want to watch this, but I'm just going to watch it, so just quit freaking telling me to watch it.
Yes, I've whittled her
so
down.
She texted me this morning and was like, I watched Dr. Horrible last night, and it was so amazing. And she was all inspired. Like, she was like, it was such great. Like, it was just so well done and so funny and so well written. It just made me inspired to want to make art.
And then did you say, yes, I told you so for the last
No, but I kind of did the happy dance. I was like,
okay.
Yes, that's so awesome. Because, so, if you have those friends that you're like trying to get them into a geeky show, just keep pestering them. That's the lesson here.
Please don't listen to Amy, because pestering
it
is
did
probably not the proper way to do things.
No, but it did work in this case, and
it's
it was
like
awesome. It was
wife.
an awesome victory. And the next thing I'm going to suggest to her, not as forcefully, is to get the soundtrack, because I go running or walking or not walking very fast, and I listen to that soundtrack, and it is like so awesome because I can like see the whole thing in my head, and it's funny even after listening to it
9 million times.
Yes. A lot of times. I have it all memorized, and sometimes I sing it really loud with my headphones on in like my little mountainy neighborhood, and I'm thinking, if somebody's out here one day and I don't see them, it's going to be awesome. Especially if they come in right on the right scene when some of those awkward words are in the soundtrack.
But that's okay.
It'll be
fun. So,
fun.
you know what I saw, speaking of, we're not speaking of Nathan Fillion, but he was in Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog. So I just saw the Much Ado About Nothing trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And
Joss Whedon
directed.
Whedon,
yes.
Did you know it was filmed in his house?
No.
Yes, it was.
Okay, see, that man, he's all full of surprises. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you should, because he's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw it, and I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I really do want to see it. Is it
in the traditional Shakespearean language? The whole.
Yes,
like,
it is,
okay.
but it's shot in like modern times, and it's black and white.
Oh, it's black and white.
The whole trailer was black and white, so I'm assuming the movie is.
Interesting.
And I'm very intrigued by this whole thing.
The play Much Ado About Nothing.
I don't think I've ever even seen it.
Oh, my word, it's funny. It's so funny. And you know, like, I went to see it a couple years ago, or like a summer ago or something. Our school did the play over the summer. And so I went to see it, and I was like, oh, God, I'm going to have to sit through like a whole Shakespeare. Because, you know, I don't even like to read Jane Austen and unless there's zombies involved. And so.
That book's not that good.
Yeah,
I tried reading it, and it was not good.
And so, anyway. I laughed so hard, and I was just like, wow, this is really... Well, and actually, that one I've actually seen the movie of as well.
The 12th Night, another one of those, isn't that? Or a Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's the other one they did, too, which was really
funny.
He's just like, he's a really good writer.
Yeah, shocking.
Shakespeare is really good. You guys should look him up. Look, I have an accent issue, and I usually don't do it on the show.
No.
But it's like a tick of mine that I do weird voices and accents.
It does. It happens a lot.
It's
quite
time.
funny. What I should have done is had tally marks. Like every time you pulled off another accent when we're at Comic-Con, and I should have sat there and just like tally marked how many times.
Because she said to me at one point, that's my favorite accent so far, which made me realize I must have done multiple accents, you know, up to that point for her to say that was her favorite. And I was like, wait, do I do that a lot? And she's like, oh my word, you don't know? Like, I guess I don't, but apparently I do them a lot.
Yeah,
so.
it's true, but it's okay.
It's a good tick. It's entertaining.
To say the least.
Okay, After Earth is coming. I think it actually opened this weekend.
I've heard bad
I wish I cared more
about that. I don't, but
Will Smith and his Spawn, right?
Jaden Smith are in it. Yeah, I have heard nothing but bad things. And people are pretty much making fun of this movie.
Oh,
all over the internet. I mean, even before it even came out. Like, I saw this stuff, a week ago.
Oh.
So, I'm not so sure I want to, I don't know, waste my money on that. Unless it's Netflix, or not Netflix, Redbox. I might be willing to do a Redbox.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
But I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah.
I'm just...
Yeah, and kind of like...
I mean, it seems like it's okay, but I just don't think I care that much.
Yeah. Agreed.
I wish I did, because I like Will Smith quite a bit.
Yeah, I do too, but when I watched that preview, it felt like, this is not a very nice thing to say. I hate critics. I don't want to be a critic, but I'm going to right now.
It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
I always get so mad about critics, but like it looked like to me like an excuse to put his kid in a movie, like maybe we could write a script where he's like, all
father,
sci-fi,
son,
cool, and I don't know. That's probably not what happened at all, but... That's kind of what it looked like to me.
Yeah, we're kind of meh about it.
Yeah. Okay, but I am not meh about this next thing, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. So I have probably been talking about this almost every show for a long time because I love the comic series so much. I've been enjoying it a lot. And so if you haven't looked at that, you should go check that out. And then, but they have announced more cast members. And one of them you're going to be excited about.
Yeah.
Karen Gillan? Is that how you say it?
I don't know how you say Gillan.
I think it's Gillan.
I don't know.
Anyway,
whatever. Amy Pond.
So Amy Pond from Doctor Who is going to be a villain in this movie.
I can't imagine her as a villain. She's too sweet.
She's very sweet. I'm super excited to see her as a villain.
Do you know who she's going to be?
No, they haven't announced it yet, but they said she'll be the lead female villain. And I was like, okay.
I wonder if she's going to have her Scottish accent while she's the villain, because that would be kind of awesome. I love listening to her talk. I just like it. I was thinking to myself the other day.
You like accents. It's good that you hang out with me.
I know. But we were watching Long Way Down. It's this motorcycle documentary with Ewan McGregor in it. Mm-hmm. And he just kept talking, and I just kept thinking in my head, I'm like, I think I even said it out loud to my husband. I said, I really wish I was like Scottish or British and I sounded awesome. I just say dude and totally all the time. So
yeah,
I've got California Valley Girl going on, which is not special by any stretch of the imagination.
It's very special.
It's
very special. Yes. Okay, and then also Benicio del Toro. And then Glenn Close is going to be like the Nick Fury of this movie.
I could totally see that.
She's
I
she
like
could be
Benicio
scary.
del Toro. I loved him in Snatch so much.
Oh, Snatch.
I
You
love,
like Snatch?
I love that movie. That's one of those ones I watch repetitively. But when the children
I'm
are at home,
surprised because it's really dark. It's like a
But
really
it's
dark
funny,
movie.
but it's
very
funny.
funny. Yeah, it is.
actually that was when I the first day I had
and
all my
what's
kids.
his name? Jason Statham in that movie.
Oh,
Turkish.
I love that man.
I love him in that movie.
The first day I had all my kids at school, I said I'm gonna watch the movie that I can find with the most swear words in it, and I'm gonna eat crap and sit on my butt all day until I have to pick my kid up from school. And so I picked Snatch, and I listened to it full blast.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I can do this in the middle of the day, and it has all these swear words in it, and I didn't feel bad about it once.
That's awesome.
It was great. I really love that movie.
I do too. I do too. Yes. So we have. Oh, the other person that's in it. What's her name? Zoe. Do you know?
Oh, Saldana or something like that.
Saldana. Yeah.
She is in Star Trek. Both of the new Star Trek. Ahura. I really like her. She was also in Avatar too.
She gets to play Gamora. I'm just a little bit jealous. Not that I'm going to be in a movie anytime soon, but if I were, that would be an awesome character to play.
I would play any character she's played. She seems to get pretty awesome
That's
parts.
true. She does.
But
get
she's
some awesome
really
parts.
cute. So
she is really cute.
yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna bring in our special guest now and do some special awesome makeup for you, some demos and some tutorials so that you guys can learn next time you're at your con how to do some really cool stuff that looks awesome. So here we are with my son Eli. Hey buddy.
Hi.
He's gonna make a big gash on my arm right now. So tell us a little bit, Eli. Oh, I already know. But tell them how you got started doing makeup.
Well, when I was younger, I loved like making short clips with my friends. So I would use my mom's phone and like make kind of gory things. So started using ketchup.
Where'd you get that?
And
Ketchup?
then
Okay.
eventually my mom moved me up to a small kit, and I did pretty crazy stuff with it. So they bought me a really huge kit, and then I started.
The rest is history. So he, he started doing it with stuff around the house, which is a good way to start if you're interested in just playing around with some makeup. He started with Vaseline and food coloring and eyelash glue for like putting on fake eyelashes, all that kind of stuff. So, so he just experimented with that kind of stuff. We bought him a kit, which was, what was in it? Scar wax?
Blood and scar wax.
Fake blood and scar wax is all it was. And so we just thought, well, we'll see what he does. And it was kind of amazing, the stuff that he did. So we're going to show you right now how to make a wound. So I'm going to kind of talk you through what he's doing. And right now, he's, as you saw, he unrolled, you can unroll cotton balls. And so, yeah, because they kind of will like make one layer. And so if you take one layer and then you kind of thin it out and you make the wound site, and then you can take the liquid latex, which is what the other thing he's using, and just kind of get it all around there until it's really wet and goopy. And you can get most of this stuff online, like at Amazon and that kind of thing. Or if you have, what I would more highly recommend is if you have like a magic shop or a shop that sells costumes and that kind of stuff near you, it would be really good to go support them. We have a place in Colorado Springs called Zizo's that we go to. But the makeup that we would definitely recommend is Ben Nye. This brand, Ben Nye. It is by far the very best that we have found. It works great, and they have a lot of options. Another tip about cosplay I was gonna say is, if you decide, we saw a few people at Denver Comic Con that were painted like their entire selves painted, like the Hulk and the She-Hulk and things like that. If you do that, it's really important that you use a sealant on your makeup, because otherwise you will end up leaving a little bit of Hulk everywhere you go. So yeah. We'll just keep doing this, and then we'll wait for it to dry. What we've done is, by we I mean Eli, he smoothed the edges around with a sponge, and then we've let it dry, because it takes a little while for liquid latex to dry. And if you're in a hurry, you can go ahead and do what you're doing now, buddy. If you're in a hurry, you can use a hairdryer to dry it, but you cannot use it on hot. You have to use it on cool, because it's kind of like how it was described to me is like if you're wearing jeans next to a fire and your jeans really heat up and then your skin touches it, it's really hot. It's like that, except the latex is actually on your skin, so it really can burn you. So don't do that. So you can use it on cool though. So now he's put powder on to set it, and then you're gonna, what are you gonna do now?
I'm using a color wheel, and I'm using the black to make it look like it's deeper.
So black adds depth to your wounds. Another thing which we're not going to do on this wound, but Eli did makeup for a haunted house this year, and one of the things that we did is we took twine and colored it black, and then we made a bad wound, and then cut the twine in little bits and used latex to adhere it, and it just looked like these big gnarly horror film type stitches. So that's another thought on that.
Set that aside. My brush. Wait, I'm gonna add this light red. Grab my sponge.
So the light red's just going to make it look like inflamed and angry around the wound, which it usually does. So and they also have, which we don't have any for Eli yet, they have gel blood, which is really cool. We saw it when we interviewed the zombie guy, the guy who was doing zombie makeup at Denver Comic Con, and it's pretty awesome. So that's another thing you can use. Got some black over here.
Okay.
And then we are using
I think that's the aged blood.
zesty mint flavor blood, so I can lick it off later. It'll be awesome.
I actually think that'd taste worse with all this stuff.
It probably wouldn't be very tasty. We made some blood. He makes his own blood sometimes, and it involves a lot of corn syrup and chocolate sauce, and anyway, it's very sweet. Not really my favorite, but and if you can get some drips, it's always awesome.
Yeah. Not the best wound I've done, but
It's okay. It doesn't have to be the best one you've done. So you get the basic idea. So yeah, this is pretty easy if you just practice it a little bit. Just to do, and YouTube has a lot of tutorials on stage makeup and special effects makeup, so that you can learn to do a really gnarly wound on yourself if you wanted to do some sort of cosplay like that. So thanks, Eli.
you're welcome.
I was behind the camera the
Yeah.
whole time watching this going on, and in each part it just got, oh, it's so gross up close. Like it looks like you were burnt or something under it. It looks like your flesh is rotting. Like it's
Yeah, around
really,
here. It's really
the camera
gross.
really doesn't do it justice. Like it's disgusting. Can you I don't even know. Can you do that? Like go as close as possible. Like it's shiny, and she's got like a epic drip there on the outside, and you know he did that in a matter of less than 10 minutes, and I'm completely grossed out. But and
I've done better, but it's a pretty good one.
Well, I mean, for doing it on camera, for one, under pressure, and two, I mean, I don't even know. He did a really awesome job. I'm feeling a little left out. I wish I had a slash wound somewhere.
Oh, well, I'm sure we could arrange
Or
that.
a puncture wound. I would like a puncture wound.
Ooh, he did a bullet hole one time. Did you see that one on my hand?
I don't
Ooh,
know
it
if
was
I've seen
crazy.
that
It
one.
was like I tried to stop a bullet.
I'd
and
like
it was
him.
just like,
I'd like him to stick a nail through somewhere in me.
maybe your nose.
No, I already have a hole there. I don't really need help. But yeah, no, he. Every time I see one of his wounds, it's more and more impressive every time because it's just gross.
It is really gross.
Which means he's done his job right, because the more grossed out you are, it's like an actor. You know how you see an actor, you're like, God, I hate him. Like you hate their character, and you're like, oh,
they're obviously
that
doing something
actor
right.
did a really, really good job, which Eli does a fantastic job, and hopefully you're able to at least get a little bit of a tip, especially with the black. I didn't know that. I thought that was very interesting.
The black adds depth to your wound.
And should you, like, is there like a spray that you can spray over that?
There
do
is a
you know of?
sealant. Ben Nye makes a sealant
Is it
that
a
you can spray.
Oh, okay.
I think you can. Well, I think they do spray, or they do like just a liquid that you can kind of paint over it. So
Because I can't imagine that would not, like, you have a special drip here. I can't imagine that wouldn't get all over.
and they start kind of drying a little bit too. But yeah, sealant is
Coagulating?
really coagulating. a little.
like real blood.
The sealant is definitely important, and just remember when you're doing this. So hopefully this gave you some ideas for stuff you can do for your own cosplays and stuff. But just remember that when you're doing liquid latex in particular, that anywhere you have hair, it will rip it right on off when you take it off. So like you don't want to do it like right through your eyebrow. You want to be careful about that. You can put wax.
Or shave it.
You can put wax. There's like scar wax that we have that you can put over it before you do the latex. That way it maybe will save your eyebrows. And just be prepared that when you take it off, it is a little painful. It's not like excruciating painful, but
I think the coolest part about this whole thing is that Eli only used 4 different materials. He used cotton, liquid latex, blood, and a black color. Mm-hmm. So that's only 4 things you have to buy, and that's not a huge like commitment or investment. And
if you buy one of the Ben Nye color wheels, you'll get like four colors, and they have like a bruise wheel, which will help you if you want to make yourself just look bruised up. They have like a zombie wheel for making your face zombified.
It's amazing what you can do with such a little amount of stuff. So
yeah,
nice work for making such talented children.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And this was actually quite interesting and educational for me. And if you guys try to make a wound, send us a picture. We'd like to see what you guys can come up with and how you used what you learned from Eli.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.